Right, so we're inside my computer. This is the boring part now, but the reality is that if you want to make money, those 10 side hustles to make you a millionaire by 13 that talk about dropshipping, mobile ads, all this doesn't work, right? If you want to make money, you gotta be willing to do the boring stuff because, I mean, that's how you make money, right? So first things first, I want to start with proof. I'm just going to refresh this to show that I'm not lying to you. I mean, I have no reason to do so. So yeah, this is how much we made today. That's yesterday. The day before, I think I can show you here. It was one of our best days, actually, $4,000. So it's pretty cool. And this is the growth volume for the last 4 weeks. So I can show you for November. It isn't over yet, but we're at 30K, right? So pretty cool. That's a bit more than last month. So last month we did 18. So it's 60% more than last month. Granted, this month is Black Friday, so that's why that's that. So I recorded a couple of videos on this before. You can go back in my channel and watch them. Each one of these is extremely valuable. So first one was how to build a profitable SaaS business, what the gurus don't tell you. Second one was how to take it to 10K MRR. At this time, we were at 9. The third one was how to grow it solely, growing your SaaS solely with organic traffic. I go over a breakdown of how you can do that as well. And then the last one was the blueprint, the 9 steps you need to take it to over 10K. In this, we were at 11K right now. I think we are at 13K, if I'm not mistaken. Let's double check this right here. We're at 13K in MRR. So that's monthly recurring revenue. Now, of course, MRR is sometimes smaller than the actual monthly revenue because people buy yearly plans. And when people buy yearly plans, the MRR, the monthly recurring revenue that's added, is not as much. Hopefully that makes sense, right? Now, what I want to talk about today is exactly how I've done it, right? And it's going to be more of a freestyle video, but I think it's very important. So first things first, yeah, you can talk about having the idea, right? That's an I for idea. You can talk about partnering up. You can talk about making noise, because the reality is that you can have the best product in the world, but if you don't make enough noise, right, nobody is going to find your product, right? For example, in our market, we have a few competitors, but we are the ones making the most noise, right? We are targeting YouTube heavily. We are on Twitter heavily. We are just now starting TikTok, right? So short form. So we are in every single place. We're also doing Google, so search, so SEO, that's SEO. So essentially writing blog posts to rank for keywords, right? This takes a bunch more time. TikTok, YouTube, so social media tends to be more instant. But if you want to build a business for the long run and get a good valuation, right, you need to have these pillars in place, right? And these pillars in place could be clients not coming in from your personal brand. That's why YouTube isn't the traffic that's coming in from YouTube to our site isn't coming from a personal brand. It's coming from a branded channel, right? Twitter, it comes from my personal brand, TikTok as well, but SEO and YouTube don't, right? And these are two very strong pillars in your content game, right? Because someone that's going to buy your business doesn't want it to be heavily reliable on you, right? Because what happens if I leave, right? Does the business stop raking in money, raking in clients? That's a big risk. So that's why you don't want to make it hyper reliable. You don't want to make it, hyper reliable on yourself. So that's the very first thing you need to know, right? Even after the idea, right? Because ideas are worthless, honestly. You can just copy what other people are doing, right? Or just come up with something, or take what they're doing and make it a bit better, or niche down, right? Partnering, I talked about this, super important as well, because you're most likely not going to make it alone, right? Because with software, it's a long road up ahead, right? And it's a lot of ups and downs. Ups and downs is very expensive. Software is extremely complicated, and it's not something that you build and it stays there, right? There's going to be bugs, there's going to be issues, there's going to be customer support. There's so much stuff that you need to partner up if you want to compete in a competitive market that is software, regardless of the niche, right? Regardless of the niche, software is a very competitive market. So if you want to disrupt the industry, you want to take down all of your competitors, you have to make sure that you partner up, because you need to be ready for everything that they're going to throw at your way, right? You got to be ready to implement features faster. You got to be ready to fix bugs, right? Otherwise, people are just going to jump ship and go to the other software, because there's only so much and so many things your software can do better than others. Because features, right? Anyone can copy your features, right? Anyone can make the same features as you do, right? It's not rocket science, right? Just have to code them in. It's more of the time it takes, right? Because anyone can copy each other's software. That's why it's very important that you partner up, and that you or the other person does the noise, and I guess the other does the coding, right? You have these two pillars, the noise and the coding, and they have to work together, right, to make sure that your SaaS scales. Otherwise, if you're just focusing on noise, right, or just focusing on coding, nothing happens. Because if you just focus on coding, right, You get the best product in the market with features nobody has, amazing product, but nobody knows about it, so it's pointless. If you just make noise and don't build a quality product, yeah, you're gonna drive people to your brand, but eventually they're gonna try your software and they're gonna see it sucks, and they're gonna jump ship and go to another software, right? So you wanna make sure that people like what you're building. So super, super important. And then still in the coding part, you gotta do something that's really, really important, which is, let's say this is a building, and I've given this analogy in the past, right? This is a building, right, that has a door, has a bunch of windows, right, has a helipad on top, has a bungee jumping line here which you could jump down, right, has wings that makes it fly, right? This is the ideal building, right? This is the ideal building you want to be building, right? This is the best software available, right? Think about this business as this building, as a software, right? This is what you envision in your mind. You envision this grand thing, amazing, rich in features, beautiful software. But the reality is that if you try to build this from scratch, you are going to fail, right? What you need to do is build a hut, a mud hut first, right? That's a mud hut. Not even has a door, no windows, right? And then with customer feedback, with iteration, you build the door, right? You build that window, right? Then it looks like a sad face, right? But those are windows. Then you build the second floor, right? Then you build one more floor. Then you add windows to those floors, right? More windows. Then you make it larger, right? Then you make it even bigger. Then you add the helipad, right? So it's a iterative process, because if you try to build this like this from scratch, you're going to be building features that nobody wants. And I can speak from experience, because this isn't my first software, right? I had and still have a software. It's a marketplace. And I try to do this. I tried to figure out, I know what customers want. I've spoken to them. They want the helipad. They want the big windows. They want the chandeliers. They want everything. Turns out that really they didn't want all that, right? So I just spent time and a lot of money, because devs are expensive, right? If you're partnering up, just spend time. But if you're not, you're going to spend a lot of money, right? And I built features that I shouldn't have been building, right? Because nobody actually used them. So the helipad, nobody used it. The windows, yeah, they look good, but people would be great. They would use the product the same if the windows weren't floor to ceiling, right? Hopefully this is making sense, right? So start with the mud hut, then build your brand, building your vision, right? Build towards the vision, but take into account customers. Ask customers what they want. And I can do a breakdown video on the emails you should be sending, what you should be asking them, because it might be that the vision you have, it's not what your customers want. It might be that you're building this, and then turns out that the vision goes somewhere else, and your customers actually want a plane, right? That's a plane, right? Could be that, right? You don't know. And this might actually make you more money than what you had initially envisioned. So super important here, right? Start with a small mud hut, then build on top of it, right? Yeah, you can have your Figma wireframes, your software and all the pages look like, and a list of features, but don't build them all out, right? Start with the MVP, right? MVP, it's the minimum viable product. Start with something that works, right? So let's say, again, analogy again, your software takes people from point A to point B, right? Yeah, you could build a big car, amazing F1 car, that's an F1 car, right? But it also means that, yeah, this F1 car takes them from A to B, but a scooter or a unicycle, that's a unicycle, also takes them from point A to point B. Yeah, they might take a bit more time, but it does the job, right? It takes them to point B. That's your MVP, your minimum viable product that does what you want the software to do, which is take people from point A to point B. And yeah, then you can maybe add another wheel, and then maybe add a motor, and then maybe add a wing or whatever, and then it becomes what you envisioned. Maybe it doesn't become what you envisioned, right? Maybe it becomes a plane, right? But this simple concept isn't easy at all to understand or to grasp or to do, right? Because your mind tells you, nah, why would I be building a unicycle when I want to build a Formula One car? It doesn't make any sense. But trust me, I made this mistake in my past software, and we didn't do it in this one. That's why we're able to grow this fast. Also, we picked a trending industry. AI is a trending industry, but I mean, you got to capitalize on trends when they're available, right? So that's yet another thing that I've spoken about in the past, which is picking up or choosing trending industries. Now, there's good sides and bad sides of picking a trending industry. The good is that, yes, you grow faster. The bad is that there's a lot of uncertainty, right? You never know what tomorrow holds, right? Because with a certain industry, for example, let's do a CRM for dentists, yeah, it works like a CRM needs to work, right? So growth might be very, very slow, but there's a lot of certainty, right? You know what's going to happen 1 year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, because the product does what it's supposed to do. But if you're in the AI industry or a newly born industry, like I said, for example, AI, or in the past, Web3, there's a lot of uncertainty. Who knew that Web3 would plummet down? I mean, people believed it would work, maybe it can even work, right? But there's a lot of uncertainty. So that's something you got to figure out for yourself, depending on your risk appetite. If you want to build things in a growing industry or a trending industry, yes, the growth rate is much faster, right? But also the uncertainty and the probability of failure is also much higher. However, in terms of competition is, I guess it depends on the niche. I won't cover competition because competition, if you move fast, which you should with software, competition is less in trending industries. But if you're in a non-trending industry, let's say CRM, competition is usually much higher because there's already established players, for example, in the CRM niche. So you got to figure out what you want in that regard. Hopefully all these scribbles help. My goal with these videos is to teach you what I've learned and teach you what I'm doing, because this is my second software and we're growing it fast. And hopefully with these videos, you get to try and build your own. So if you have any questions, comment down below. I'll answer them. I'll do videos answering the questions. I'll do a Q&A if you want. Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.